I'm here talking to Paul Williams of Movember. Paul, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. How are you, Jim?
Not too bad. This is like your busy time of year, right? We're getting geared up for a whole month of people growing mustaches.
Getting ready for the hairy season, absolutely, yeah. So busy kind of time leading in, getting people kind of aware of what's going to happen next month when they see lots of men walking around with wonderful moustaches, we hope.
Yeah, so it's really popular, isn't it? It's a big old deal because it's one of those things where it's just such a genius idea where it involves not a lot of effort to get involved, but it's a big impact visually, and it's something people talk about as well. So it starts conversations. It's just absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, so we're now 20 years old. So it started with a couple of mates in a bar in Melbourne in 2003, and as lots of good ideas over a conversation, over a drink, a couple of mates together. And back then they were lamenting the loss of the moustache from kind of the world. So this was prior to the hipster movement that we've seen over the last few years, where mows and mullets have certainly made a comeback. But yeah, so not many people were growing moustaches back then, but a simple idea. I think 30 friends did it in that first year, and it's kind of snowballed since. So over the last 20 years, we've had over 6 million kind of people get involved, grown moustaches. And as we've kind of developed over the years, kind of got involved in lots of different ways to, yeah, raise awareness of kind of men's health and help us raise funds to make a difference.
So what can people do if they want to get involved? What do they need to do?
So if you're able to, you can donate your top lip. And as you say, Jim, you can kind of become a walking, talking billboard for men's health. So as you say, it starts conversations with mates, but equally strangers. You can be walking down the street, spot another good moustache and kind of give a nod and a smile. So it builds that sense of kind of community. And if you're not able to grow a moustache, there are other ways to kind of get involved. So you can move for Movember. So take on kind of a moving challenge, whether that's walking, running, however you kind of want to get around. But we kind of talk about moving 60 kilometers during the month of November to kind of recognize the 60 men we lose to suicide every kind of hour. Or you can host. So obviously part of Movember is kind of getting amongst friends, people that make you feel good. So you can get together, have an event, and again, raise some money through that. Or mow your own way. So we have people that take on some crazy challenges. We've got a guy this year who is looking to, I think in Wales, looking to draw the biggest picture of a male genitalia as part of his Strava. So he's running around in the shape of, male genitalia. So you can kind of take on your own challenge, however you kind of interpret that, and get out there and raise awareness.
Oh, there's a lot to be said for making Strava pictures. I don't think I'd ever really thought about doing that before. That's a great idea.
Yeah, we've had people do big moustaches kind of across London. So you kind of see that map of London, and they've somehow, and I don't know how they do it, but managed to map out the right route that then, yeah, on your Strava, you've got this big picture of a moustache across London.
That's brilliant. So there obviously, of course, as you mentioned, there is a very serious aspect to it, and that is the men's mental health and men's health in general as well, that we're raising awareness for, raising money for as well.
Yeah, so we recognise there's lots of areas of society where men are, more privileged and have more kind of advantage. But when it comes to our health, we released a report in the summer, the state of men's health, which kind of did a deep dive on men's health in the UK, and we released a report in Australia as well. But that kind of showed the premature mortality of men. Men live less than women. So we, on average, live 5 years less than women, and that's largely down to preventable kind of reasons. So we're trying to make sure people are aware that men's health is a really important subject, and how do we use a bit of fun during the month of Movember to kind of raise awareness and understanding of those important issues. And then, the funds help us to do something about it. So over those 20 years, funded heavily into kind of life-changing research, particularly in prostate cancer. So it's been in the news over the past 6 months or so, with the King sharing his diagnosis, and then, sadly recently, Chris Hoy talking about his own kind of terminal diagnosis of kind of prostate cancer. So really important. That research that we've helped to fund over those 20 years has really helped us understand more about the disease, bring on treatments and diagnostic tests that can improve outcomes, but still much more work we kind of want to do because 1 in 8 men will get a diagnosis of prostate cancer, and that kind of increases to 1 in 4 for black men. So lots of men are now living with and through that kind of diagnosis of prostate cancer. So we want to kind of understand the disease, but equally help men live kind of happy and healthy lives as they kind of live longer with that diagnosis as well.
So over the 20 years, have you noticed concerns changing, towards different types of illness, or is it kind of more of a sort of holistic thing, looking at all of the different aspects?
Yeah, I think so. Over those 20 years, we've been focused on kind of research and understanding of prostate cancer, thinking about testicular cancer as the kind of most common cancer, particularly in young men, which with an early diagnosis, men go on to live kind of long and healthy lives. But it's a great opportunity to educate men at a younger age around their health and the importance of kind of recognizing signs and symptoms of when something might not be quite right and going to get the kind of professional help they need. And I think in terms of mental health, we've seen far greater awareness across society around mental health, which is brilliant. And what our work, particularly in some of the work I'm involved in our kind of sports programs and partnerships, is how do you give that next level of education? So yes, we know about mental health, but what does it actually mean? How might I feel, or what might my behavior or a friend's behavior change if they're struggling? And then how do you have that kind of conversation? How do you kind of recognize someone in your life might be struggling, be it a mate, a partner, an uncle or brother? How do I then have that kind of conversation? So lots of our work is about that education and helping people have that connection and that conversation, so we can get in there early, get people the help and support they need, whether that's kind of informal and amongst a friendship group, a family unit, or if they need it, that kind of more clinical support from a medical professional.
Have you noticed sort of more of awareness of that? I think, in 20 years, I think we're moving maybe in the right direction in terms of being more open, maybe discussing mental health. And I mean, things like Movember obviously help that. They're sort of driving that as well. Have you noticed that at all?
Yeah, so I think there's lots of organisations out there, Movember one of them, that have kind of done that bit of awareness and campaigning over the last 20 years and beyond of kind of the importance of mental health. I think for us at the moment, we can't just keep telling men to talk. It's men are talking, and they do talk. And Dad La Soul is a fantastic example of that, of the kind of opportunities you provide and the spaces you provide for men to get together and have kind of conversations. I think what we're interested in is when men do ask for help and do reach out, how does that system or that partner or whoever it might be, how do they make sure they can respond in the right way? So we found some research in Australia where over half of men that have reached out, gone to see a counsellor, don't go back for that second session. So there's something about the kind of system, be it in the UK, GPs, health hospitals. How are they responding to men when they're kind of reaching out for help? So that it's not just kind of men themselves. We are talking in far greater numbers, much more comfortable to do that. But we need to make sure men get the right support when they kind of ask for it and they need it.
Okay, so how can we translate that into what we do over the month of November? What can we? How can we we're getting involved, obviously, with the events that you talked about and the tasks and things. So how can we kind of make that connection between what we're doing there and helping out Movember and raising funds and things like that?
Yeah, so the best thing to do is go to Movember.com and kind of register and sign up to kind of get involved, and then spread the word. So we've got an app that you can kind of download and gives you lots of different ways to share what you're up to and doing, whether that's growing a moustache or hosting events or doing a challenge. So there's lots of stuff you can download and edit and change to put on your socials and your profiles. But that's really what the month we try and do is we talk about Movember having fun and doing good. So this is some serious subjects, but let's build that connection over the month of November. But yeah, people want to get involved, you want to grow, you want to move, host an event or do a kind of wacky challenge, then sign up and register at Movember.com.
And, working for Movember, is there competition between you and your colleagues about the best moustache? Is that a thing?
Yes. So when I joined, I've been here 2.5, 3 years. So when I joined, I got asked two questions: is do you have to grow a moustache, and what are you going to do for the rest of the year? So it's not, I don't think it's quite in our contracts, but there's definitely that kind of competition around the office. That first day when we have a shave down and you kind of have a second look at your kind of colleague that you've had this big beard for the year and they look about 25 years younger. So there's lots of that, the kind of baby faces around the office. And then when you work here, you know, we are really well known for, you know, taking over the month formerly known as November. But when you work here and for our partners, they kind of see the work that goes on all year round. So this is our kind of big time of year for us to shout loudly and proudly about the work we do and for the communities we serve. But yeah, it really enables us to do that year-round work to kind of raise the profile of men's health, but then work ourselves and deliver programs and with partners to try and really make that difference for men and those with men in their lives.
Mm. And any preferred type of moustache?
We've got if you go to movemberme.com, we've just done some work, a partnership with an AI moustache generator. So people can go onto the kind of website, onto the kind of app, and yeah, you get to put in, like, take a picture of yourself, and then you get to choose different variations. So if people are thinking about growing a moustache this year, they can actually kind of test it out. You got to go for the old trucker. The box car is a good favourite of lots of people in the office. So yeah, but we talk about, you know, even the shit moustaches save lives. So whatever you can grow, whatever it looks like, it doesn't matter. It's about getting involved and about the kind of conversations you have as well.
And once again, how can people find out more information on what's going on this
more
month?
information, if you go to Movember.com, you can kind of find out all about Movember, what we get up to, where the money goes, and equally then you can kind of register and sign up on the website and the app.
Lovely. Paul, thank you very much.